So Don Lemon just announced that he's going to be doing a new show. He's going to be doing the Don Lemon Show on X. And yes, you should tune into it if that's what you want to do. My job here in this video is just to educate you a little bit about who Don Lemon is. Because one of the things that Don Lemon is proclaiming is that he's going to be bigger and blacker now.
Men and women who risked their lives for our freedom and equality wanted for us. They fought for us and generations to come to be better than them, not to be illiterate or deadbeat dads or criminals.
A black Bill O'Reilly, which is what Don Lemon was, which was a black person pointing at black people, finding what's wrong with black people, and never questioning the white establishment that they were getting paychecks from.
We must stop the blame for things that we can change ourselves.
Don Lemon wasn't saying that black America needs to make demands of the Democratic Party. No, it was that we need to be better people, and suddenly all things would just work out for us.
And again, as the first African-American president of the United States says, no more excuses.
Job discrimination, just an excuse. Wealth inequality, just an excuse. Racial wealth gap, just an excuse. Mass incarceration, just an excuse. Everything that ailed black people, which he separated himself from, was a problem with black people. Meanwhile, he made $5, $10, $15 million a year, and then pointed at poor black folks and working class black folks and said, no more excuses. And how did he justify that stance? Obama himself.
Nobody cares how tough your upbringing was. Nobody cares if you suffered some discrimination. And moreover, you have to remember that whatever you've gone through, it pales in comparison to the hardships previous generations endured, and they overcame them. And if they overcame them, you can overcome them too.
Thank you, Mr. President. And that's tonight's No Talking Points.
This was always just a clever way for them to never hold accountable the powers that be, to never bite the hand that feeds them. It was a way for them to keep their money train running and us on the bottom, looking up at them, blaming ourselves for our own situation. It kept them in power, them in a place of comfort, and us blaming ourselves, instead of demanding that society change, that the laws change, that the politics change. So now that Don Lemon is coming back to an X near you, I'm hoping that you will hold him accountable and not just do what you always do, which is jump on the side of the people that sold us out and pretend they didn't, just so you can see them win. Meanwhile, we lose. And they were fine with us losing all those times. I'm just asking for us to hold them accountable. Uplift independent media that's been riding for us all this time, and let the sutouts be out. So I just want to remind people who Don Lemon is, because as he comes back again in bigger, bolder, freer Don Lemon, it's going to be a lot of black folks that buy into it. Why? Because they want to see a black guy on top, and they don't care if that black guy has ever rode for black people. Now, when it mattered, is it possible that maybe we could give half of the support that we get to Don Lemon and give it to black independent media that are willing to say the truth about what's happening to black people, the people that actually stand up for us? Are we going to continue to let them pick who our leaders are, who our voices are? We talk all day about Ukrainians, but never talk about Baltimoreans. It's on us to do a better job. I mean, I covered this all in the video. I put it out back in June. Saying that to help black people when he said we need to stop littering. He took a page right out of Bill O'Reilly's book.
Most Americans, no matter what color they are decent, fair-minded people. But there are problems in the African-American precincts, especially in the inner city. However, the problems have little to do with white people, rather a corrosive culture that does not confront child neglect and antisocial behavior on the streets. That's what's driving poverty and dysfunction.
Not to be illiterate or deadbeat dads or criminals. We must stop the blame for things that we can change ourselves. And again, as the first African-American president of the United States says, no more excuses.
When was the last time you saw a white person on CNN telling all the white people that they need to get their kids to stop using meth? Or they need to tell their white men to stop beating their wives. When was the last time a white person went on MSNBC and was like, white people, we need to do something about our kids shooting up the schools? But for some reason, there are a bunch of black conservative dum-dums who run around who say, well, people shit on black people, that they're doing it to be helpful. You never hear a bunch of Latinos on TV talking to other Latinos about what Latinos need to do in front of black people or in front of Asians or in front of white people. But for some reason, there's a whole heap of conservative knuckleheads, morons, and easily fooled who think that when a black person does that, who's getting paid to talk shit towards black people, that they're doing it for the benefit of black people. And another thing, the problems that we have in America can be fixed with money and investments. If you want a black community to look like a white community, put the same resources into that black community and it will. See, you have a problem. You believe that someone's pants being hanging off their ass is different than white people with rips in their pants. See, that's because you're conditioned to think black people are somehow inherently worse than white people. No one watched it. Because I didn't cry for Don. Because I had a good reason not to cry for him. Did he cry for us? He had a platform this whole time. And he spent it punching down on black people. Under the rules that that's how you help black people, by shitting on them. Don Lemon worked at CNN for 16 years. And for 16 years, for the most part of that, he did a bunch of Bill O'Reilly talking points, or Rush Limbaugh talking points, conservative white media, right-wing talking points. And after being gone for 6 months, he's going to come back and be what? Bigger, blacker, and freer. For more context on who Don really is, here he is telling a story about being out with some friends and some racist white guy calling him a nigger. Peep out his reaction.
It was interesting because the two black people who were in the immediate vicinity, me and my friend, we were just kind of quiet, like, okay, how are we going to react to this? And every single white person we were with was outraged and jumped on him. But we have to come from a place of listening. I could have cursed the man out. I was outraged. I was upset by it. But my immediate response was, isn't this interesting? How am I going to absorb this? What can I do with this story? How can I teach him if it's possible to teach him? So instead of becoming enraged, I became curious about why he was so ignorant and why he felt that was okay to use those words.
All of a sudden, in the last 6 months, he found blackness. That's what you think. He just realized he was a black man in the last 6 months. Something happened to him. He's like, oh my God, I'm black. I need to look out for black people. Or maybe he just decided, I'm about to lose my goddamn job. Maybe it'd be helpful for me to have a place to go back to. Like Omarosa. Or Stacey Dash. You know who I'm talking about. They all the same. Some of y'all might actually believe that Tim Black needs to sit back, mind his business, eat his food, and let Don Lemon do Don Lemon. Nah, Don Lemon doesn't get to come back and not be quiet about it. He doesn't get to come back and try to rewrite history. Ain't nobody bitter over here, ain't nobody jealous over here, and no one's drunk over here either. Because the truth don't need motivation. Yesterday's price is not today's price, Mr. Lemon. It's a new day.
Hello, fam. We hope you enjoyed watching Tim Black exposing the real Don Lemon. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Calling It Out with Tim Black, where we bring you more bold coverage on politics, culture, and news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. It's a new day.